So Raymond Rowen is my name. I'm a partner GP in a Thai medical here in the Thai in County Kildare. I've been working here in the Thai for nearly 4 years now. I joined straight out of the scheme and Mid-Leinster training scheme in 2018. Before that, I did my medical degree in the graduate programme in Limerick. Before my graduate programme, I did science degree and a PhD, and then eventually decided to go back to medicine. So it's been a long road, but eventually got to where I wanted to go to. So I think the first thing that really struck me when I joined Centric was the level of support that you had even before joining or formally starting your work in the practice. There's a lot of communications, a lot of support, communication quite regularly between regional manager, practice manager, just kind of getting you set up, HR as well, are really on top of things. I think the big thing that people always fear is when they come out of the scheme after 4 years, you're almost in a way kind of protected or insulated for the 4 years because you have the scheme kind of looking after you, and then you're set out into the big bad world, and I suppose you kind of feel a bit isolated at times, and certainly I never felt that even before joining the practice. I started in August, I finished the scheme in July, and nothing was a problem. I mean, if there's any particular questions or issues I had or concerns before starting, you'd send away an email or you'd ring someone, and within half an hour or an hour there's a response, and if they can't get an answer, it's sorted within a day or two for you. So on your day one or your very first day of starting, you really feel like you've already been integrated as part of the team in the practice. You feel like you've already been integrated as part of the team in the practice.
So then we're just going to talk about the support when your interests, etc., within Centric.
Yeah, so I guess in the last 2 to 3 years, I've really started to develop an interest in sports medicine, exercise medicine, and musculoskeletal medicine. I recently joined the British Association for Sports and Exercise Medicine. I'm a member there, and about maybe 12 or 18 months ago, I kind of had a chat with the regional manager about developing a special interest in musculoskeletal medicine. We do offer routine joint injections here for people suffering from shoulder issues, tendinopathies, capsulitis, impingement syndrome in the shoulder. We do it for knees, degenerative meniscal tears, trochanteric bursitis, lots of other kind of small little things like that. And I suppose the plan was for me to formalise that, and rather than doing it quite sporadically, it was actually to set up designated clinics for these kind of procedures. And I have to say, Centric and the regional manager Ryan has been instrumental in kind of getting this set up. I don't think there's been any point where I've met any kind of hesitancy or reluctance to engage in the process. I'm just in the middle of doing a postgraduate course in musculoskeletal and joint injection with the Royal College of Surgeons, and it was fully supported by the practice here and by Centric. And I suppose the idea is, with so many people waiting to see orthopaedic surgeons, a lot of people will, they'll need some form of analgesia or pain relief while they're waiting, and it's not a panacea. It's not going to fix an arthritic knee, but it can certainly alleviate the symptoms. And I suppose the plan is for us to eventually set up a clinic where Centric practices, but even practices that are non-Centric, and from anybody around the town or anybody around the area, we'd gladly accept referrals from anybody, and we can see and assess and then decide whether an injection is appropriate, because there are some people that it's just not appropriate, and that's something we'd like to be able to offer everyone, regardless of your practice. So I participated in the mentorship program. It started about 1.5 years ago with Centric. I haven't come from a medical family, so I've no mum, dad, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, relations that are medical, and so there's always kind of a little bit of degree of uncertainty, or how do you approach chatting to Centric, or even chatting to anybody about partnership pathways. But on top of that, then I suppose being a mentee, it kind of makes you a bit more self-aware about yourself. It gives you that degree of self-confidence that you're essentially just kind of bouncing ideas off your mentor, and it's a non-judgmental way of approaching things. It's almost like a psychological safe space where you can chat to your mentor about loads of different things that may be in no way related to working for Centric or working as a GP, and you can kind of get kind of non-judgmental kind of advice, but not directional, just a little bit of a listening ear, and it really does kind of bring you on as a GP. It does kind of make you confident in your decisions. It makes you kind of self-aware. It kind of empowers you and kind of helps you set goals as well in terms of your career progression. Meeting with my mentor really kind of got me thinking about partnership, and I suppose during the course of the mentorship over the 12 months, I kind of progressed from being a salaried doctor to being a partner doctor, just based on the bit of mentorship and the support that I had from my mentor. And I don't think I would have kind of progressed things. I probably wouldn't have had the self-confidence to go about it if it wasn't for my mentor. Even within the last 2 to 3 days, there was a communication sent out from Centric asking people if they'd consider being a mentor. And given how positive I felt the experience, or how positive experience it was for me, I really would like to become a mentor now. And that comes from the self-confidence and the awareness that I've gained from being a mentee on the mentorship program. So I'm really looking forward to that. So I think one of the biggest reasons I joined Centric 4 years ago was that there was a clear pathway to partnership. I think when you finish as a GP on the training scheme, one of the things that can happen to a lot of us is that you join a practice, and for 4, 5, 6 years you're working quite hard with a view to partnership that may or may not transpire. And I think the thing, even from day one, joining Centric, even before I'd even put my feet under the table, was that there was a clear and defined pathway as to how I go about becoming a partner. Becoming a partner has big responsibilities as well. One of the other reasons that I decided to join Centric was that a lot of the administrative work, a lot of the supports, a lot of the non-clinical work is taken over by Centric, and they run the practice for you. I routinely finish 6 o'clock, 6:15, and when I go home, I go home. I'm not worrying about HR, I'm not worrying about administrative responsibilities, I'm not worrying about dealing with the PCRS or anything like that. My work is just purely and utterly clinical. And at times there's opportunities to dip into non-clinical work as much or as little as you want. And that's just the perfect fit for me. I've a wife, I have 2 children. I kind of want to spend a bit of time with them before they start to dislike me. My oldest boy is 8 and my youngest boy is 6. I love going out in the evening time, playing a bit of football with them. And 6:15, 6:30, I'm at home, and I'm out kicking the football with them. And I might be wrong, but I don't think I would get that if I wasn't in a Centric practice where a lot of the non-clinical stuff has been sorted and being dealt with.